Welcome back. This is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And tonight, I've done a couple of shows because the band conditions are really good tonight here in Florida. And it's almost 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And I started tuning the bands, and I couldn't believe all the stations I received. And, of course, a lot of them are not in English. So I started looking them up, and I was like, gosh, there's so many stations, I can't look them all up. So I just thought I would show you what I'm receiving tonight and kind of demystify the conception that there's nothing left on shortwave, because tonight there are just stations booming in everywhere. Again, they're not all in English. So we're just going to tune a band for a few minutes. There's so many stations, there's no way I can get through the whole whole shortwave band. So we're just going to start this first one here at 5.81. Again, I won't try to identify the stations because there's so many of them. I wouldn't get very far if I tried to identify them. So here we go.
5.810 y 11.870 kHz en su día.
I got it. Anytime to play music, I have to turn the volume down. So it's full scale. So I'm assuming it's close by, meaning probably in Florida or somewhere nearby.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Oh.
Para todos los jóvenes y jóvenes de corazón. A través de Radio Santísimo Sacramento en CWCN, Radio Católica Mundial.
No te lo puedes perder. Sintonízanos. Lo vas a disfrutar. Y si no te gusta, you get your money back.
Young Soul, Alma Joven. Let's get to it.
It's kind of a mixture of English and I think Spanish. They're playing music. I gotta move on. That frequency looks familiar. That's 5.85, and I think that's out of Okeechobee, Florida, which normally is very strong. Full scale on S meter. And the other thing is, even though maybe right at this moment when I tune a station, they're speaking Spanish or some other language that I don't understand, most of these stations will also broadcast in other languages, including English. So you could write it down in your logbook that you received it and then go back to it some other time, and it may be in English, or you can go on the short-wave.info website and look it up and see if they do broadcast certain times in English or whatever language you'd like to hear it in.
They're making common cause with the Republican caucus. American University
Five.
of Obama said it's a fiction to think of better deals.
5.92. I believe that's another station out of Florida, so again, it's very strong.
People are prepared for some form of war. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not 3 months from now.
I missed that one.
You know that text. Prophet that answers, God that answers, defy thee God. One of these prophets.
5.933. Now, I did get a comment where somebody said, well, the only thing left on shortwave are these religious stations. True, there are a number of religious stations that broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they're very powerful. So yeah, you will pick those up. And they're all over the band. But that's not the only station there is.
In adversity, he was strong.
ello llegar a un acuerdo para comprar unidad de México de la corporación
There's
Sharp. La Organización Mundial del Turismo
another Spanish station or Spanish language
adoptada por la
right now.
Organización Nacional de Turismo de China de promover el turismo rural como una forma eficaz de combatir la pobreza. En una receta
Let me zoom in a little better so I don't have to tell you the frequencies. You can actually see it. So we're just now up to 6 megahertz. We started at 5.85, so we haven't gotten very far.
The largest non-governmental humanitarian organization in China has become the first international rescue.
Sounds like China radio.
It will be sent to Rakhine State.
6.018.
Myanmar has experienced
Or it's probably at 6.020. And there's another station right on top of it. Another Spanish station. I get a lot of Spanish stations because there are a number of Spanish stations that have cropped up here near Florida, either from South America or Cuba or even in Florida. So that's why I get a lot of Spanish stations.
Prosperity he sold. In fear of that silly woman.
That sounds another religious station. 6.090.
Really got me thinking about the baby tissue that science is putting in the vaccine. You know, your shingles vaccine.
6.115.
What could human tissue in the vaccine, including human blood and DNA, do to our health when it's injected into us that way? So this is what I discovered.
Now, all the time I've had the bandwidth set to narrow because there's so many stations coming through. And I am using my external G5RV antenna. I don't know what that is. Isn't that? Yeah, it's weird. Okay, let's move up to 9 megahertz and go up from there. Like I say, there's so much on tonight that I could do this for 3 or 4 hours. Now see, this band's pretty quiet.
Sound.
Nope.
We even see very high numbers in churches. It's good news. We have a little bit of good news here, and actually seeing, and we see this in secular studies, that fewer than half of U.S. high
It's
schools
like
have ever
9.265.
And because that number has really come down as a percentage of U.S. high schools.
Oh, there's the crazy man again.
begin to put a different
9.393.
a different understanding, a different complexion.
Dude. Something jumping in on top of that station.
Anything over.
وإنك أهل التقوى وأهل المغفرة ونحن أهل الذنب وطلب المعذرة إلهنا
Not sure what language that is.
وإن كثرت ذنوبنا واختلفت عيوبنا
That's loud. Gotta watch that music. 9.520. Let me look that one up. That might be China radio. 9520. 9520. That is Radio Romania. Okay, yes, that's Radio Romania.
Și am ascultat ilegal de accesso secvența din concertul legal de la Sala Radio din 8 mai 2015 cu Orchestra Națională Radio și Radio Popoara Popescu și nu uităm să ne amintim că
says it should be broadcasting in Romanian right now. I don't know.
Continuăm cu o știre foarte importantă.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. But if that is, that's 9,000 kilometers from me over in Romania. That's where the transmitter is. And they transmit in English quite often.
El Partido del Pueblo Cubano Ortodoxo pronuncia una locución radial en la historia como el último aldabonazo y decide suicidarse al no poder probar el fraude gubernamental por él denunciado. El 5 de agosto de
Now the other thing is, a lot of these Spanish-speaking stations don't register in the International Broadcast Directory, I'll call it, so you don't see them.
Estados Unidos, un grupo de eventos antisociales.
To understand why that person says this and under what condition.
9.570. Said I wasn't going to look any of these up, but look up a few of them. It sounds familiar. China Radio out of Cherik, which is over in the Middle East someplace, and it's about 9,000 kilometers from me. And usually this time of night is when I get those stations from Europe and the Middle East, because we're both in darkness, and that's one of the factors when listening to shortwave.
And specializes in China issues.
Yeah, it's China Radio, but it's coming out of Cherik.
Continue and the globalization.
Mientras que su medicamento a 55 veces más que el mismo lapso del 2014. Casi todos sus efectos acudían de la ciudad medieval.
9.590.
Trabajo forzado y selección de las reliquias incas, las drogas chinas, están aprovechando un mercado emergente de estos dispositivos en América Latina. El principal fabricante chino de dispositivos lejos.
That could be China Radio, and it's it says it's broadcasting in Spanish right now.
En junio y julio, las ventas del décimo
Yes, sounds a little bit like Spanish to me. Do a couple more and then we'll stop. Whoa.
Invitamos a nuestros oyentes a comunicarse con el equipo de la
Oh boy, did she talk fast.
por vía telefónica con el estudio
Full scale, must be close by.
Thanks to Radio Romania's rich oral history archive.
9.730 and then we'll call it quits.
Romania has recently been suffering from the effects of a global economic crisis. There has been strong
That is Radio Romania,
development in the Romanian
and it is in English right now,
on Tuesdays.
and it's 9,000 miles from me. So you can see the tonight conditions are really booming in, and that's the thing about shortwave. One night or several nights in a row can be bad, then all of a sudden, boom, you get a good night. And you know, scanning the band like this, you can just find all kinds of things on the HF bands. So anyway, that's the show. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.